can indeed. James, how's it going? Michael Glennon here.
Howdy, what's the crack?
Good, yeah. Listen, congratulations on the Lions call up. Business to attend to first, but must be very exciting to look forward to in the summer.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, obviously it's a massive privilege to have been selected for the Lions, and like you said, there's a few bits we need to get right before that trip. Yeah.
That starting this weekend. Listen, it's good. I like that you put up. You more so than most avoid the cliches, and if you can do so, that would be great. Just the importance of Leinster this year as opposed to the other years, getting over the line, getting some silverware, because I'm conscious you were asked the same question for the last 3 seasons, and when it came to the URC, you probably just couldn't get the job done for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, we've won the Irish Shield a few years in a row. If people are counting that, it's like City winning what was it, the Community Shield or something like that. So no, there's definitely a big trophy that we need to win. We need to do ourselves justice and put ourselves in the right position. Being at the top of the table, heading into these knockout games, and Scarlets obviously an exciting Welsh side who are probably one of the informed teams. They've fought their way into eighth spot. They've knocked over ourselves and the Bulls in that run up, and if you look across even just the back three, it's an international back three that we're coming up against, and a 10 who likes to pin corners. So it's an exciting game that I think we'll have on our hands. But sure, look, we're ready for the challenge.
One of the other things a lot of Leinster players say, taking the learnings from the defeats and putting them into action. That's been said quite a lot over the last few years, and I'm just wondering what's the difference we'll see on the pitch. So will you treat the rest of these games like cup games, like it's 3-6-9 instead of kicking to the corner going for tries? Can we see an implementation of how Leinster will take their learnings from what happened up in against Ulster at the end of last season, not taking a kick against Northampton?
Thanks for the reminder. Sure, look, it's man. I'm just out on the wing. Look, I would never question anyone who has that responsibility. But like you said, it's knockout rugby, and if we can accumulate scoreboard pressure going 3-6-9, I'm all about that. So, look, those decisions are above my pay grade. If you looked at that spreadsheet that was doing the circulations, Jesus Christ, I'm underpaid and overworked at the moment. If you ask me, anyway.
No, I know you're a senior player now. You're going at the Lions. You don't get away that easy, James. Another thing, and I know you probably say it's not your department, but if a lot of the coaches say we trust the players to make the decisions on the field up against Ulster, maybe the last year's Champions Cup final, this semi-final, maybe in the white heated battle, the captain's off, the crowd are on your back. Maybe it's something that should be left to the coaches to decide what to do. As we saw how effectively South Africa won their World Cups by just taking the orders from up above. Do you think that's something that Leinster can implement for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think we're bringing in that traffic light system that they. I wouldn't have a clue if we're bringing that in, but no, I look. I understand exactly the point that you're making there, and like I said earlier, 3-6-9, build a bit of scoreboard pressure. Keep teams away, keep it a two-score game is definitely something. Especially if you get an early penalty, I don't see why you wouldn't take the three and reset, get a good exit off that, and go again from set piece. So. Look, I'll pass that on to the powers that be, but look, above my pay grade. But the old traffic light system would be a nice wee thing.
Very good. And just finally for me, the Scarlets this weekend, you have a recent warning about what they're all about. And is it? Do you think you just revert back to what Leinster are good at, focus on your one game, because you'll have a lot of new personnel, I'm presuming, for this game, um, or where do you see their biggest threats?
I think I touched on it earlier. They've got literally an international back three. I know. You could say that they're young and which highly exciting. They literally put us in exit cycles. The last time we played against them, they were pinning corners. They've got right and left footers. Their kicks on kicks. They've got two. long, rangy wingers who are great in the air, attacking the ball. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they reverted back to that because they were able to beat us over there, playing that style of game. So, it's up to us to make sure we get our stuff right, nullify all that they throw off us. They had a lot of kicks from sort of midfieldy as well, little attacking kicks. They scored off a crossfield kick as well, put us under a serious amount of pressure. So as a winger, there's a lot to wrap your head around going into a game like this. If we can do our best to nullify that, we've got a Jack Russell running around in our backfield as well. So hopefully he can put us in the right positions, and hopefully we can nullify that side of their game.
Very good. Is the Saints lost out of the system? Leo said before the Glasgow match, it's still somewhere there. As a player, is it out of your system?
Sorry, the Northampton match.
The loss to Saints, Leo said before the Glasgow match, it's still somewhere there.
Oh, it's
How do you
always
feel about it as a player?
Northampton's there, La Rochelle's there, Toulouse is there. It's all still sitting there bubbling away. Don't you worry. That's thanks. Cheers for the reminder again. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, James.
Thanks.
James,
Hi James, how's it going?
Oh, we're fighting.
Sorry, just touching on that. Michael's kind of giving you a good old going over there in one sense, but
Yeah, Jesus
is
Christ.
there almost a frustration and a bewilderment among the group as to how to get over the line in these big games? You know, is there a head scratching element to the takeaway from these games? What's the feeling?
It's a simple game. If you break it down, if you're able to win the gain line, ball in hand, secure your own ruck, kick well, and take points on offer, I think you can. It's a simplified game. We come up against exceptional teams. Everyone thinks that we should go out and blast teams away, but it's not quite as easy as that, unfortunately, in the heat of battle. To get all your things right, you go in trying to, bash the other team. Sometimes that just doesn't happen. Sometimes you come up against a team who wants it just as much as you do, and then on the day, the bounce of the ball, the interpretation of refs can go with for or against, and I think you saw that in the weekend over the two matches. So look, we just need to get our stuff right, cross the T's and dot the I's, make sure that every situation that we put in, we can come out hopefully on top, and have the desire and want to leave our mark on this competition. It's a bit in our hands. We're at home. If we manage to win this weekend, we're at home for the next 3 weeks if we're able to do it. But one step at a time, and it starts with Scarlets, who, what was that, less than a month ago tipped us over. So that's the problem at hand at the moment.
And just on that game, briefly from me, what needs to change from that? I'm sure you've looked at it pretty closely.
Yeah, they just kept pinning us back. A little bit of scoreboard pressure made sure they stayed in the game throughout the whole 80 minutes. And you look at the way they pinned us back. Obviously it's a big part of my game is to try and nullify that. Their attacking kicks, their ability to get it to a wide channel, two deep passes, kick to the other side. Their box kicking was exceptional when we didn't get kick pressure on them. Their wingers are they're big boys, 6'3", 4", long, rangy, great in the air. So there's a lot of little intricate bits that hopefully if we get right, we can try to take that away from them. Even the kicks from midfield, I think I said earlier, setting midfield rucks and little tops over the top, trying to split our backfield like that. So. Look, we've got to get across our own, hopefully get some good kick pressure, and if we can catch those on the full, hopefully we can turn them and put the same pressure on them.
Okay, go well, James. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hi James, how's it going? Mike Bolton here for Breaking News.
What's the crack?
Not much. Just on a happier note, what was the lead up like to being called up to the Lions? Was it wondering for a few days what's going to happen here, or was it just kind of trying to put in the back of your mind when you got that phone call?
It was horrible. There's no phone call. It was a horrible week, I'll tell you that. We obviously were in here training. think it was the Thursday, training finished, and then literally everyone who was probably in contention, straight in the shower, straight home. Got home, what was it? It was like 2 o'clock, I think the stream started, or 1 o'clock, one of those. And for 45 minutes, you're just sitting there listening to people who I should, like, yeah, obviously it's production and, you know, a lot of things to go on before the team's actually announced, but it's absolutely horrible. And then to, obviously, when the team starts getting announced, you know, in your head you're thinking of the other people who you're sort of competing against. And I said it, I think, a couple of weeks ago. I heard Elliot Daly's name go, and I was like, oh no, there's a left winger already. And then obviously Freeman as well. And then, like, it's a weird thing because when I hear obviously the boys in here's names, I'm celebrating as well. So I was a roller coaster of emotions, sitting there with my wife and. You know, everyone's telling you your name's coming or you're going to pick it, and until you hear it on the screen, seeing it being announced and your face on the screen, you don't really believe it, and it was kind of surreal. And when Hugo got announced, I was like, oh, perfect, Hugo Keenan. I was like, K, I was like, L's after K. And then it was like Blair Kinghorn. I was like, what? I thought I was next, sort of thing. And then obviously I was like, okay, there's still a chance I could be after this. So it was a huge sigh of relief almost, and an amazing feeling, and something that I'll cherish forever. My wife was ecstatic. We were next to each other. We just put our oldest boy to bed for his nap, and then went down and barrel of nerves. So thank goodness they didn't ring me after. I knew they were ringing a few boys around, but I wouldn't have answered if they rang me.
Just wondering, like, looking back at the final on the weekend, if you've seen it, and was it like difficult, like knowing you weren't there, thinking what if one or two things went right, that could have been us at the weekend.
You started so well by giving me a bit of praise, man, and now yeah. So there's this roller coaster of emotions again. I'm not gonna. I didn't watch it. I was following it in the back of my mind. Obviously checking online, checking the score. You know, like it's horrible because it's obviously throughout the whole year you want to be in Cardiff, don't you? And unfortunately we weren't there, and it's the nature of the game. It's the nature of the beast. It's relentless and unforgiving. Fair play to Bordeaux for being able to win. My condolences to Saints because they've been exceptional throughout the year as well. And like I said, it's the nature of the sport, and the sun came up, and guess what? The competition keeps rolling, and there'll be another chance next year.
Just on Scarlets weekend.
Sorry, Michael. We have to move on. We got time for one more. I think Philip's waiting to ask a question there.
Yeah, no worries.
You ruined it by slagging me, man. Asking about the weekend.
I'm going to try and keep it a bit lighter for you, Jake.
Please, yeah.
For the length of the season at the moment, you don't strike me as a guy who, you know, gets necessarily too bogged down with things. You seem to be quite good at parking, you know, any matches, whether good or bad. For yourself, how do you keep yourself fresh when you're in the run into these sort of big matches and kind of get yourself back up to that peak week on week? You know, you're looking for 3 more matches here to get to that prize of the URC.
Yeah, it's tough. It's such. I think I used the word. It's relentless and unforgiving, and that's what the season's like. You dabble in and out of URC and Champions Cup, and then you throw in international games as well. So throughout the season, you don't want to look like you're peaking for internationals and then come back to club and just be a lull and wait for internationals to come back again. So we're very, very fortunate here where we don't get rolled out week in, week out. You know, we've the depth of our squad is part of our strength. So when you do find out that you're not involved in the weekend, you don't just get a week off. It's kind of a bit of time. I'm getting a little bit older now where I won't step out of sessions, but if I'm not involved, I'll do my best to prep the other boys. But then I'm also thinking in the back of my mind to keep the body right and fresh, and the mind fresh as well. And you know, it's tough, but when you're asked to perform, you need to perform as well. I'm fortunate enough, you know, to be at the age I am and be given the opportunities on the biggest days. And I need to make sure, like a lot of the other boys in the team, that when you are called upon to perform, you do that. and I hope my performances have reflected in that. You know, it may not look like I've played a crazy amount of games, but I think someone was saying you've still played 16, 17 games this season. You've still played a fair chunk of minutes. So yeah, looking forward to this weekend, getting the opportunity hopefully to represent Leinster again, and then if we're able to do a job, being able to back it up week on week is also a thing you need to make sure you're able to do.
No doubt. Yep. Go well this weekend. Cheers.
Thank you very
Thanks for
much.
your time.
Cheers, guys. That's it for James. We'll have Robin in a little bit for you.